For those of you who'd like access to this content, follow the link in the description box, visit our Patreon page, and subscribe to the Black Kluge tier. For a mere $5 a month, you get access to the alternate Sunday episodes you've been missing, only available on Patreon, as well as the weekly Tuesday episodes. But wait, there's more. If you subscribe to the Black Kluge tier, you'll also get 2 weeks advance notice to our Thursday sessions. And if you needed any more incentive, when we have bonus episodes, Patreon is the place where you're going to find them. Also, don't forget to check out Teepublic for our great swag. The link is also in the aforementioned description.
And the producer of Howard's Porky's project telling Howard 100 News the script for the remake is ready to go. Dan Gross saying it's full speed ahead to make Howard Stern's Porky's this fall.
That's true. I watch that and I go, who the fuck would want to be I mean, Ryan Seacrest makes a lot of money. What does he want to be on New Year's Eve doing that dumb fucking show? But he loves that shit.
He loves the work.
Sure does. I don't. I'm looking to make the most amount of money I can with the least amount of hours.
With maybe one job.
Thank you.
And, listen, thank God she's growing up nice. She's not getting any of that awkward stage like that lispy kid.
Yeah, she doesn't look awkward. You're right.
I said to her, Millie, we can't tolerate you having some sort of awkward stage. You got to do a Brooke Shields and just be hot from the time you're a little girl to the time you're a woman.
So I wake up in the morning, I see Ralph's bedroom is empty. Artie, I realize Artie locks his door at night. I noticed you lucky. Do you have a thing? Because what I did was I tried to open the door to see if you were in there because I figured both of you guys were gone, and then the door was locked.
I don't remember doing it. Maybe I did it out of habit.
Yeah.
You lock yourself in at home?
He locked himself
not in the bedroom, but I might have. I was a little drunk myself. I might have locked the. I guess I locked
the front door.
Well, good thing you did because I would have been in your room.
Right.
You're smart.
Who needs you in there?
Right.
Always lock your door at Howard's house. Meanwhile, Howard.
Yes, Rob.
You have raised children in the age of the cell phone.
Yes, I have.
And you find that your kids like to text.
They do.
But do you ever text and not get an answer back?
Yeah, sure.
And how does
All
that
the
make
time.
you feel?
Well, I know they're glued to that thing 24/7.
Yeah.
Even Beth does that to me.
Uh-huh.
Like I write her and
She doesn't.
she doesn't answer. Like the one who was in the first Spider-Man where he played the villain. Your boyfriend.
Oh, my God. What a...
You saw him in a play.
Oh, Willem Dafoe.
I think he was naked in the play.
Willem Dafoe.
Didn't you see him in a play naked?
No.
Someone told me he was in a play once naked. And
well,
he's
I
got a
didn't see
huge cock.
I think she's some kind of an editor.
Hey, Gail's Oprah's Ralph.
Oh, that's a good way to put it. All right.
But she actually completes things.
Yeah, she does.
She does.
No, my theory is, and hey, it's only a theory. I ain't saying anybody's a lesbo. I don't know. But I feel those two are in love with each other, and that they do each other, and that they have sex with each other, blown out lesbian sex.
So she really is his
They
Ralph.
travel together. You agree, right?
I totally agree.
And
Always felt it.
I think if that is true, Oprah should come out of the closet.
Welcome, ladies and gents, to QF, a podcast about Howard Stern. I'm your host, Fillmore, a.k.a. Jim Fix. And with me for this particular episode down in the annals of history is Miss Sam. How are you, my dear?
Comfy in the pajamas you sent me, my faves.
If anybody wants to know, I'm not going to send jack shit. That's just for Sam. So I'm not going to tell you where I got them.
What? You're sending pajamas to listeners? Why?
The link to get them. That'll give away where I'm actually from.
Creepiest thing ever.
Yeah, it'll give away where I live, so I can't do that. But I will say I did get a pair for Mrs. Fillmore ages ago, and she really likes them. It's always tough to get good pajamas that you like that feel good.
Well, they're really sexy, guys. They're bear cartoons and buttoned up. I look like I'm wearing kids' pajamas, but for adults. But they're amazingly comfortable. So just yeah.
They're actually adult size. They're not for some really hefty youngster. So at triple XL or anything.
Yeah,
so
we'd
guys,
have a problem if this was for a youngster.
This episode is about Wiggy going on a rant about the wrong Dan Mason. This is from 2014, February 18th. It's after I stopped listening to the show, so it was kind of a surprise to me, not his rant and that he was wrong, but that it sort of got no real publicity. And I think maybe because they must have struck it from the replay.
I think so. I don't remember it being replayed. So that's one thing. The other thing is how random this was. Like, I don't understand why this particular thing bothered him so much, but it really did. And the fact he got it wrong makes it even funnier.
Yeah, there was a thing called Nevada something. I can't remember exactly. Nevada Newscasters or Nevada. I can't remember exactly what it was. But there was a guy named Dan Mason who was a guest on this local show. It was a local show in Vegas where they were talking about how Wiggy couldn't get advertising when he was, that's why he went off terrestrial radio and blah, blah, blah. And I just recorded with Len something that proved, like, the numbers that prove that he was making less billing for advertising than ever when he left. Like, the numbers were trending down from 2001 onwards.
I mean, we have talked about, not in succession, but over time through our podcast, we've talked about how his numbers were dwindling there. And when he got to Sirius, he had definitely a lot better advertisers. And now it's in the doldrums of advertising. It's just obvious.
Yeah. And so he goes on this rant that lasts 25 minutes. This is why I have a hard time believing he would strike it from the replay, because it's hard to just cut out 25 minutes from a show.
Well, he did it with the Wendy Williams.
I suppose so, yeah.
Do you know what this reminds me of? Remember when he got upset with the weather ladies, or was it those? Do you remember that? It was like a local show. And for some reason, that got him so bad. And I go, who cares? These are two nobodies on, I don't know, Spectrum News or something. Like, it has no relevance.
Right.
You're making them relevant.
It was a clip. JD's whole thing was, and how fucking egotistical is this? JD's whole job was to get cut clips that he thinks Howard would like, or that were interesting, or in the news,
or mentioned him,
or mentioned him, or about him. So that was the whole thing. So here we go, guys.
Hey, by the way, who is the guy? Who is this guy? Dan Mason. Was he a guy that worked at Viacom CBS when we were there? Yes. What a fucking douchebag.
Okay, hold on. First off, the Dan Mason he's talking about was an exec at I think it was CBS, and he was there something like, I can't remember. We'll go a little further into this, but so he thinks it's an exec. He thinks it's one of the guys he worked for, but it's not.
Yes. So this is the big reveal early, but just so you know why we're saying this is because now you know how stupid he sounds and how crazy this is. Oh, yeah. Not to mention, why would you think this is a part of his narcissism too, to think that a CBS executive would do this?
Right.
That would talk about you, first of all, in public and this way. Do you think that people get to be executives by doing shit like this? Do you know how long it took for the Spotify executive to even say shit about Harry and Meghan, even though they were total garbage from the get-go?
What was kind of funny about the whole thing was you're right. There's a similarity between that rant and this one, the fact that they go on for so long. But it's and there is some nepotism in CEO world where somebody's son gets an exec position, whatever. But by and large, you're right. They don't mention the talent because that's counterintuitive. You're supposed to,
It's a very big no-no in that world. You just let him go and you say, we decided to part ways, and you give some couch answer where it's, they call it a glommer response in legalese speak, where you get some, it's called a glommer response. Hi, Carrie. Can't wait to do a show with you soon.
Yeah. Well, it's the other thing is, of course, they will, the way they're going to communicate with the talent is either through re-signing them, letting them go, or suing them.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. And then it's very rare for someone in the press to leak. I guess one of the most high profile examples was when he failed at the Fox pilots and he kept bitching and moaning about Rupert Murdoch. And then finally they press release. They said, no, the shows were boring. They were fucking awful.
Well, but that's also very different because he was going on a press tour, shitting on the network and giving them negative attention and painting the situation in a complete false light.
That's
which is stupid in general to think. And the reason why he did do that too, by the way, is because executives, quite frankly, don't ever give a response to this. They're almost like the British royal family where they,
those guards.
No, but it's like the whole MO of the British royal family is you don't address it.
That's
you
right.
just take it on the chin, and the only things you ever really respond to is the biggest things you can think of, but hardly ever will they give a response to the back and forth of the daily press goings.
Right.
I ever meet this cunt?
Yes. He was at one point, towards the end of our run, he was the president of the radio division, I believe.
Did he replace that other maniac who sued me?
I can't remember which maniac sued you.
I tell you, when I worked in terrestrial radio, it was a pit, a den of fucking thieves and shitheads.
You were the biggest thief.
You fit in right well.
You were the biggest thief. And by the way, you had no problem covering for those thieves until they decided to take you and put your feet to the fire for the crap you were doing on terrestrial promoting Sirius and try to double dip.
Yeah, that would, like we said, that episode, the episode in question, I would really, as much as I would love to, get involved with that one as well. I think that, and I may take part in a little of it, but it's fascinating because they had him by the balls. I don't think there's any way a jury couldn't have taken all that audio that they had over the year and 4 months or something like that, where he was going on and not come up with a guilty verdict against him.
I would have to read, and Carrie I'd have to read what the terms of his transition were, what was outlined. You know how sometimes you can skate on things by claiming, for example, you're working in a job and you are on the stand and say you break a law or you broke something on the job, and then the judge has to do a voir dire where they have to see and test your knowledge. And how you get out of it usually is saying, well, if that's the law and that's what you're explaining to me, fine. But if you say you had no personal knowledge of that statute or no personal knowledge of that law, then you can't, you know what I'm saying? So it's hard to say, but I think sometimes even though contracts are really, really written well, if there's a way that he could skate out of it with the personal knowledge bullshit, I'd have to ask Carrie how that works. Like, oh, I know that's written in my contract, but I didn't have personal knowledge of it. I don't know.
Right. Or it was not in my contract at the time. This doesn't apply because it was something that happened after the fact. I don't know, something, and it doesn't relate to the company.
It seems black and white to us because it's so obvious, but there's always there's always complications and ways to get around it in the law. And the only reason why I brought up the voir dire thing is because I'm watching the Karen Reed trial and they had to do it for an ATF agent. And I was like, you got to be kidding me. You're a 15-year federal officer and you don't know that using federal machines for your own personal use isn't breaking a statute. But he said he had no personal knowledge. And the judge seemed fine with that explanation. So
want to ask you, well, the other thing is just came out recently. I think it's Vulture article or not Vice, but it's able to be read without a subscription, I think. I can't remember offhand, but I have it. I'll send you the link. One of the producers on The Apprentice, his NDA on the show finally expired. So he did a full write-up of what it was like to work with Donald Trump in the first season or two. And it was phenomenal read. And I don't doubt any of it for a second. I'll send it to you. It's an amazing read.
I didn't know that. I got to read that. I will say, though, people who did work with him on the show, like the celebrities, did say they liked it. Like Joan Rivers raved about it and other people but they were the celebrities. They're not the behind the scenes people. So I'm sure the celebrities got treated great.
This guy talks about how dumpy the fucking Trump Towers were, that they had to film, they had to reconstruct stuff because it was falling apart, chipping away, to make it look top notch, to put forth this idea that he was, a successful billionaire and all this bullshit.
Oh, well, I mean, that's always been
of course, but it was TV magic, he said. They said, and we did it brilliantly. We really pulled it off with that show the way it was, but it was tough to get, it was just tough to work around it. There was a lot to put up with. Anyway, it was a great article.
Listen, I don't think Trump is any different than most of the slimy world of real estate in New York and New York City.
Oh, certainly.
He's just like everybody else they're all crooked. There's a level of crookedness that goes on with anybody. So I don't like that he's the exception to the rule sort of thing. And, I did hear an interview recently with one of the mobsters who said, who was it? It was, Michael Franzese, I think.
Michael Franzese, yeah.
Yeah, and he said that Trump was smart and he would never allow them to get to him. He would always totally avoid the mob, and he would they just knew they couldn't get to him. So he didn't have to pay like those things that people have to pay in New York City real estate, which everybody basically did.
Well, I don't buy for a minute. He had envoys basically, and he still had to go through, I think, Nicky Scarfo, who controlled the Philly mob.
Well, I'm saying that it wasn't as bad. Like he said that he hired federal agents, like ex-feds and stuff, to guard him for security when he went around, and the mob didn't want to go around feds. So
also he got around them by using scab labor to build those places. It's proven. I mean, Mr. Union Guy did fucking load using unions because he could underpay the scabs, and what could they do about it?
Oh yeah, who doesn't love cheap labor? These big tycoons, like of course. The one thing he did good was, I think, that ice rink that really put a black eye on the fucking politics in New York. They had 10 years to build it, did dick all with it, and then he took I think 9 months or something, and he got the whole thing up in Rockefeller Center. So
skating away.
Many guys in radio who don't have a fucking clue. I don't want to sit here and toot my own horn, but Jesus Christ, I'm the goddamn Leonardo da Vinci of radio.
What?
So when you lie about me, I'm going to point it out.
Oh, see, Lee lied?
Yeah, I'm going to point it out what a cunt this fuckhead is.
This is vicious right away.
The Leonardo da Vinci of radio. He is so delusional.
Yeah. This is post-summit, guys, so it's a year and change after the big summit meeting, and I don't think the summit has gone exactly the way he'd like because, more cars are getting serious, what have you, and some guests are coming in that he normally wouldn't have, but I don't think he's seeing any really financial benefits from all that.
No, and that's what's most important. The more apt allegory, I guess, or the more apt
comparison
analogy would be to Jackson Pollock. You're just throwing fucking so you're throwing paint with the string at a canvas, and whatever hits, and here's the mess, but it's beautiful and ugly all at the same time.
Right.
I'm pissed off. I was watching this interview with this guy, bad-mouthing me and changing history like a Holocaust denier.
Why is he talking about you?
Because
all of a sudden we're in the Holocaust. He's got such a small frame of reference in his pea-brained head.
So this guy says something bad about you, and now he's an anti-Semite who's Holocaust denying. I get what he's saying. Come on, that is so hyperbolic.
And imagine somebody like Howard saying about somebody else changing history and being critical of them. Of all people.
Great point.
Yeah,
he's a dickwad. Because they're all consumed with me. When I worked at CBS Viacom, there was a litany, a slew of like management types. They had layers upon layers of radio management there. They had that Joel Hollander.
When he left, when Joel became the head
Joel Hollander, that prick,
when he became
decided to put Les Moonves up to suing me. And then you had the other one, this Dan Mason. I knew the name. What's his fucking job?
He took Joel's spot.
That's right.
Oh.
Okay, so these layers and layers. Welcome to corporate America. I mean, of course, you have layers and layers. Ask writers on TV shows back then, especially like on cable or not cable, just regular, comedy shows, how they have to pass it through the censors. There's like, you have to. Yep. This is just what it is, bro. If you want to play in this world, you're on terrestrial radio. Of course, there has to be corporate people who say you can't say that, or we're going to get sued, or you can't say that, or the FCC's going to come after us. Yeah.
And the other thing, unless he wanted to go then and do what Kumi eventually did, make his own show, kowtow to no one, work towards your base, and go from there. But he didn't. He never wanted to do that. I was listening to the Lila Arcieri episode, so I did with Carrie and Bob. Really, really fucking funny stuff, and. we were discussing a little bit how he was trying to play the whole "I'm an executive producer" card to get, Beth, and he had her over and she watched Son of the Beach with him and all this bullshit. And like, how much money do you think he realistically put behind Son of the Beach? I don't think he put anything except a trifle, like $500,000, maybe $1 million to get that title. Maybe, and I think maybe even nothing, just to have his name attached.
I'm leaning towards nothing.
Yeah, me too. Because he doesn't want to ever put money behind things. It's fascinating to me. Vince McMahon tried the XFL, failed miserably, but he put something like $100 million behind it, or $1 billion towards it.
I mean, look at Jennifer Lopez in that $20 million fuck all music video.
She canceled the tour. It is not the best.
I saw.
Because
and I saw that it says spend more time with family. What family? He's living in a different house.
Why would you arrange a tour and then claim to cancel because you want to spend time with family, knowing that a tour takes you away from your family and that you plan to bring your kid along with you?
Well, there was this girl on TikTok who's deaf and she reads lips of celebrities. So she catches them in all the moments where you can't hear what they're saying, but she reads lips so well. And her and Ben are in a car. And I guess he said something like, I know the kids. And she said, yeah, what about the kids? What are we going to say? What are we going to tell them? Like, so they're getting a divorce, guys.
Yeah.
She's not spending time with family. She's going to spend time being delusional and hopefully getting another fuck all backup dancer to build up her ego again.
She's spending time with her family. She's spending time looking for her next family.
Turning into the Knocking Jennifer Lopez podcast. Sorry. Guys.
It just reminded me of that one great line. I'm sure it was Jackie or something. But when Howard went after Michael Landon in the book Private Parts, and he said people were talking about how he was such a family man. He was divorced a bunch of times. He wasn't a family man. He was a family's man. Great one-liner.
Another genius, Dan Mason. So I'm watching this old fucking shit stain being interviewed. Where was he being interviewed even?
I don't know.
I don't mind. If you don't like me, you don't like my style of broadcasting, that's fine. But don't change history. Hey, JD, did you pull this clip? You better have, or you're fired.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Where is it?
It's from JD1.
Yeah.
Third column in orange. He is. It's from Nevada Newsmakers. Is the show?
Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
JD1 third column.
In orange at the top.
Okay.
I have a question. So Howard obviously has never seen Dan Mason very much because how does he get this wrong? One,
well,
right?
Bowie went forward with yes, it's him. It's the same guy. So
That's
he gets the go ahead from Bowie and decides I'm running with it. Don't verify anything.
But how do they think that this executive is going on this low rent Nevada news? I mean, does this not make zero? How long have you been in the business to know that maybe this doesn't make sense?
Well, yeah, like that's a perfect point. What is even if he's a retired CEO, what's he doing in a Nevada cable access show?
Right. Okay. Picture Rupert Murdoch decides to go on Good Day Buffalo. I mean,
right.
Maybe it's a different Rupert Murdoch.
Yeah.
He's being interviewed on a free cable access show that's before the number 2.
Right. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. You got it.
At the top. Okay. Got it.
How did you find us? Nevada Newsmakers.
Yeah. He thought he could hide in Nevada, this guy. You got to hear this interchange, and then you got to let me respond to it, okay?
In Nevada? Hide in Nevada. He thinks
you know what?
Hide in Nevada. What is he, witness protection? This fucking...
So a multimillionaire is going to go across the country to this local show to tell what he thinks about Howard.
Holy shit. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Hey.
All right.
Now, keep in mind when you're listening to this.
Oh, my God.
I was working at CBS Viacom,
Dead air. Fuck.
The head of the thing, this guy, Joel Hollander, came to me and begged me to resign. He offered me a ton of dough, wanted me to resign with CBS. I went off and made a deal to come to satellite radio.
Okay,
that's the facts. That's the history. Also, keep in mind.
No, and I'm sure they offered him money, and it was millions. It would have been like probably 15, 20, whatever he was making, but not more than he was going to make it Sirius.
And probably not and probably with the advertisers not being what they were, knowing that there was never going to be a bigger payday. Like it wasn't on the horizon. That his tenure there was sliding, not gaining, sliding.
That's right. Yeah.
And I also think too, it's so funny how he's talking about these corporate layers. He doesn't know the inner workings of dog shit. And he was there for years. He knows 2 names, barely 3 that he just mentioned. He has no idea what the titles are, what anybody does. And he's acting and talking with all of the confidence of somebody who runs it.
Right. Well, it's he's explaining to the teacher, the dog ate my homework, that kind of shit. That with the confidence of that kid. But the precipitous drop from 2001 to 2005, he went from 3rd or 2nd in billing, or number 1 actually in billing in like late 90s, mid 90s, to out of the top 10 in 2005. So that tells you if you're losing that kind of money, there's no way you're going to make that kind of money unless you, I don't know, go for volume and add more commercials and make up the shortfall in more commercials for your show, which will not help your cause.
Or he would have had to get creative, try other things, maybe putting a different extra effort into your show, maybe instead of, I don't know, mailing it in.
Yep.
And when you used to listen to us on terrestrial radio, there were times you'd sit in your car and there were 23 minutes of commercials.
Right. You never hear the show if you had a 20-minute commute.
Right. Commercials you were getting a piece of, shithead.
Right. Like, oh, you're so sad about the commercials. Cha-ching.
Yeah.
Now ask yourself this. If anything of what this cunt Dan Mason is saying is true, why did they offer me millions upon millions of dollars to return?
Millions upon millions doesn't give us the number, shithead. You got
what an everyman.
Yeah, exactly.
So now the anomaly to all of this was great entertainer, big ratings. Howard Stern goes to satellite radio.
Right.
And not only did he go to satellite radio, which people of the time said this contract is insane, they'll never be able to make the money back, but he's had renewals since then. So obviously, he's at minimum making the money.
I don't understand the Howard Stern phenomenon.
That's pretty good. A guy in radio, he doesn't understand the Howard Stern phenomenon. Well, maybe you ought to fucking get a clue, you jackass.
It's just the conversation, the levels of audio. You should know this is not some top dog. It's CBS sitting down to have a frank conversation with cable access show. I mean, what?
And if anybody wants to look it up, you can find not that episode, but you can download the shows from their website, and you can get the webcam version, whatever quality it was back then, and not this particular episode that they have clipped, but Dan Mason and a couple other ones, and it sounds just as bad.
Yeah, you're right about he didn't specify the number that was put on the table for him for a reason. So we just have to assume millions of millions. Okay, thank you. How much exactly? How many millions were, and what was the time limit on that contract? Because they probably put a short leash on that contract to see how it was performing. And the commercials, the advertising. Yes, that was a very big thing, Howard. Very big thing.
And notice what he comes out of his mouth is millions upon millions, not tens of millions.
Right. That is significant, because if it was, he would have said 10 in a heartbeat. And the other thing too, you got to remember, he didn't mind playing commercials. It was doing the live reads, which shows how lazy he was for making money for the company, because he didn't like to do it. So think about this. You as a company pay for advertising on the Howard Stern show, and he has to do a live read, and he kvetches about it for 5 minutes before he has to read it, and then gives some shit read.
Yeah. Like we played examples of the ones he's done on Sirius. They're awful. I mean,
why do I got to do this, man?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Total Wine and More. Total Wines and More. Yeah, your mother's a whore. Total Wine and More. Like all that shit.
Sing.
Let's sing and let's equate prostitution to this product. So there's that, and then also he got a piece of the live reads as well, and it still wasn't enough. He hated the fact that he had to do the live reads in general, like just doing work.
He's so bad now at the live reads that when he loses the script, he's like, Gary, you take over, and you know about wine. Say something. Yeah, I'm sure Total Wine paid for Gary Delabate to spout off about your product. No.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't understand the Howard Stern phenomenon. Wow, you don't? But you're such an expert, Dan. We've all heard of you. You're such a fucking thriving success.
Whoa.
Well, if it's the Dan you're talking about, clearly he has success. He's a fucking CEO.
You just said he was successful, and he's a big top guy at CBS. But okay, I love when he's angry and the new teeth are in, and you just hear the sloshing of
Oh, it's brutal, those caps.
But I look into the Howard Stern phenomenon because you had to change every fucking radio station. You tried to replace me with about 900 morning shows.
Wasn't he the guy that oversaw the debacle that was your aftermath?
Yeah, well, Dan.
He obviously doesn't understand anything about radio.
Yeah. Well, okay, well, that aspect is true. They didn't replace him properly on the radio, but then I don't know, would anybody have?
But Dan is not in charge of talent. So Dan will put the stamp of approval on it based on the recommendation of the guy who's supposed to be finding the talent to replace Howard Stern. So then Dan should fire whoever is the talent coordinator for CBS for radio division.
Yeah.
You know what? But this is one of these guys who gets to fly by, like he just flies under the radar. You know what I mean? No one hears of this guy. He's a complete loser's loser.
Loser's loser.
Doesn't that sound familiar? Like another narcissist rant we know? I mean, that's in the news right now quite a bit. I mean, loser is a key word. And again, if you put him on this pedestal, and like you're saying he's a CEO, whatever, and now you're saying he's a loser. Which is it? If he's
a loser, why does his opinion matter to you? Why are you playing this clip that nobody would have heard from any bumfuck town in America? Nobody would have heard of this. Nobody's seeking out Nevada Today or whatever the fuck.
Nevada
Nobody
newsmakers.
is looking. Nevada News is making zero news across the country. If Nana in her nursing home happened to have it on while she's eating Jell-O, maybe she heard about Dan. Other than that, I doubt it.
I doubt Dan Mason's families in Nevada heard this show.
Nobody heard this. The only reason why we're hearing it is because you care. And the fact that he's such a loser and whatever, then why is his opinion important to you?
Right.
Very popular. There's a reason he's not on commercial radio anymore, is that the advertisers wouldn't go along with it.
Oh, is that why I'm not on?
Yeah, that's exactly why. You were losing money, dude. And
I wonder, so what do you think it said in the contract specifically directed towards advertising? Do you think it was he had to maintain a level of advertising revenue and not dip? And do you think that he was being a cunt about live reads, or?
I think, it was he wasn't able to build. The ratings were down, and actually you could find there's loads of screen caps. Cormano's done a great job collecting screen caps from various periodicals saying what his numbers were near the end. But in every metric, he was on the downslope. And part of that we addressed in you guys addressed it in the O&A thing, like they were taking a chunk of his ratings. Even if they weren't beating him, that's still ratings you're no longer getting. It's no different than Dee Snider in Hartford when he was at like a 10.3 and third or fourth in the ratings, and Howard was number 2 or number 1. But those are numbers that would have gone maybe to Howard. So it's significant in the bottom line.
You know, I think about, if you want to compare it to something, think about North Shore Animal League galas. And you know how when you walk the red carpet, there's those sponsors on the back of the red carpet where it's like it looks like a drape of some kind of canvas. And then you see all these big name sponsors when it first is really popping and all these celebrities are going. Watch the dip in sponsors that are on that back wall as the years go on, to the point where they just stopped having it altogether and it's now some luncheon, and now I don't even know what they do.
Well, these things happen. I mean, it's not just a case of the pandemic and like whatever diminishing returns. When people don't get their money's worth as advertisers, or they don't feel that something's right, they're just going to stop advertising. Basically, there's an ethical thing, or they've decided, no, we're going to put our money towards something that actually is going to get us, some more publicity or what have you. And, I mean, it's commercials. It's still commercial.
It's all handshakes and this socializing, but business. So, even everything like charity galas, that's all a part of it. Of course, if it's something that's relevant, they want their name associated with, because then they get to talk to other celebrities who are there who maybe sponsor their event or their thing. And it's all about a popularity contest. And it's the same with radio and advertising.
That's right. If they decide they're going to pay $5,000 to Stern and they want something advertised, and they find that there's no difference in sales after 3 months or a month or however much, they see that the metrics don't bear out that he's affecting them, they're taking away their money. They're not advertising there anymore. It's that simple.
That's the other part. It is that simple. And Howard likes to speak in feelings, feelings about these things, where this isn't an abstract concept. You can look at a chart, look at the numbers, see how many sales this has done since you've been investing your time, money into this commercial. Is it having a bump on a fucking chart? No. Yes. If the answer is no, we're going to pull it. It is so simple. And he makes it sound like it's all personal vendettas and it's the radio's fault. It's the terrestrial radio's fault. It's the CEO's fault. No, it's your fault. Yeah.
Commercial radio pizza. What's that expression? I don't mean to cut that short, guys. What's that expression? Success has many fathers, but failure is an orphan. That's Howard. Yes. That's Howard. No responsibility. That's a good expression. It is. There's no responsibility on his part when something fails, and it's just, like, what was that one we just covered? I could just cut it with Wayne and just released it about Seinfeld, about the fart man thing, and Seinfeld going after him, rightly so. If Howard didn't, if he had more faith behind some of these projects, he'd shoehorn them. He'd put them through. Well, Private Parts was the one kick in the can. And when he lost that, when that failed and that didn't do what it was supposed to, and he didn't get the movie career he wanted, he's like, no, that was it. That was my one big shot at glory. And I fucked up.
And the little knocks that came on his door after Private Parts, he didn't entertain. He overthought it. And now there's nothing.
Yep. And so him doubling down and saying Fart Man's going to be the most successful thing and all this bullshit. And I agreed with, I did say it with Wayne. I said, there's a chance it would have made some money if it was a low budget thing and they made it like a Beavis and Butthead thing. Like if it cost $5 million and it made 15 or 20 million, that would have been a success.
Right. I think too, Fillmore, I wish we had, millions of dollars for lots of reasons, millions and millions, but one of the things I would love to do is fund a movie project like J-Lo, self-fund it. And it starts off in the scene with Howard Stern ranting on the stage at the summit. And then we flash back to the descent of his serious career. And we make up the meetings with Jennifer Vitz. We see him basically doing corporate comedy on stage and bombing. I want that movie to be made to replace Private Parts. I want people to see what we see on a screen.
Well, that's some kind of mega project that we could do based on clips of our own show. Like we could literally take bits of our own show, edit them, attach them to other clips from the same show, from audio and video that we have, him at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, the bombing, any public appearance where no one's really releasing, after Letterman or before Letterman where nobody's on the streets watching him. There's no paparazzi. It's great.
Well, you have an A lot. You have the A plot line, B, C. So we would be A or B, where it's us doing our podcast and simultaneously watching the bombing of his career. So you're flashing back and forth, and as our podcast intersects with his life, and watching it play out would be a fantastic movie.
Yeah, I think it would be definitely something that we could. Who was that one?
Too bad I don't have those pesky millions.
Who was the one that did the elephant in the room?
Oh yeah.
Not porcelain. Was it the?
It was.
Didn't he also do the worm?
Beige frequency.
Beige frequency. Yes. The one that did the Jimmy.
I can't believe I came up with that.
Yeah, the Jimmy Norton one was good too. I have to say, he did really a good job on that. There are lots of good things out there independently created, and it's getting better.
Yeah. I could have sworn your company offered me.
Who wants to? Let's do a GoFundMe. Yeah, let's see. Maybe Ashley. We'll get a donation from Ashley and Deborah.
Okay, any rich Stern haters want to fund this project, we will write it, we will direct it, and it'll be great.
Scott Salem will do the audio.
Yes.
I'd love that.
About, I don't know, between $30 and $50 million to say.
Why did they sue you when you left?
Yeah, why did you guys take a lawsuit out against me? Why were you sold out? Go ask Mel Karmazin if they were sold out. Ask Mel Karmazin.
We can't. He's not going to answer. It's a stupid, pointless argument. Go ask him. Who's going to get a hold of him?
The straw man arguments are just
awful.
Next level.
And how
him.
he put the money together to buy CBS. Guess what? Off of my back. Are you fucking high?
Now, it is true that he was a success, but that's not the reason Mel Karmazin was able to put ahead the purchase of CBS. It's a whole number of things, but you were definitely a success at CBS. There's no question.
Inherently, don't you think he knows he's dishonest and nobody believes him if he has to say things like, go ask Mel Karmazin?
Yeah.
I mean, people who are honest that are telling a story don't say, go ask so-and-so.
Yeah, isn't that the Don Rickles line? He goes, De Niro's a fantastic actor. You ask him.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Great content. Young males in particular loved it. But
that's another thing. Young males in particular loved it.
We were number one across the board.
Number one, not number one in some demo. We were number one. We beat all news radio. When we were number.
No, you didn't. It was every week. It was different. The ratings books changed constantly.
Hold on, let me get Mel Karmazin on the phone to double
exactly.
check.
You got on speed dial.
Number one, we were number one. With any fucking little asterisk.
No, it's with the wealthiest listeners. It's with 18 to 49. It wasn't any of that.
And I like that. And by the way, 40% of our audience was women. Oh, yeah, young guys, 18 to 49 liked it. Yeah, that's called the money demo, genius.
By the way, we were number one in New York alone for some ridiculous record of time, like 8 years in a row.
9 years.
It was 7.
What's the demo now? I'd love to know that.
I guess it's like soccer moms in minivans circling cul-de-sacs based on the advertisements Sirius put out. Remember that one?
I know WikiLeaks was doing important things by leaking important information, and some of it had to do with numbers. I really wish they could have got the serious demo numbers. Julian Assange, I know it was pointless, but come on, it would have been great. I want to see those numbers. They did do a great leak about the, what was that one company that they, music company, Tommy Mottola.
Sony.
The Sony music hacks, or the leak and dump.
That's right. So the Sony WikiLeaks. I think the email dump that was great with the Simon Cowell.
It was great.
Yeah, the Simon Cowell comment. But I was thinking of actually, there has to be some info dump out there with actual metrics of Sirius XM shows and Sirius shows before they merged. I would love like one day just to have 1 hour to copy someone's hard drive and get all those metrics for his show, weeklies, monthlies, yearlies, whatever, and see how they trended.
I've watched just in my research time to time, they have those board meetings once in a while, and I'll just go through them. Yeah. And they're pretty banal. Like, they don't say too much. You get some interesting glimpses and insights about what they're specifically pushing, which isn't Howard Stern, which I always find really fascinating. What they're excited about, and it never is him.
Right.
Never. And he's never even really brought up, which is the most fascinating thing in these meetings. But it's more what they're not saying about him I find interesting. But they don't give, here's what the numbers were for this quarter. They mostly give, like, investor, like, what they're getting back. Their quarterly blah, blah, blah. It's not, it doesn't have anything to do with numbers for listeners, which pisses me off.
Right. And it's like, why keep those so secretive? Because the answer is because if you can obfuscate a certain amount of it, then you can bullshit advertisers as much as possible to get more money out of them than you'd normally get.
Well, I thought it was really shitty that they did that with Netflix, because remember, there used to be the numbers attached to it.
Oh, yes.
And you used to be able to thumbs up it and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And now and then they took that away. I think it was after the Leather special with Amy Schumer.
It was. Yeah.
That is bullshit.
Yeah. It wasn't like an accident.
Yeah.
Listen to this guy. But he doesn't understand it. And also, the reason I had to leave is because we couldn't make any money.
It was the FCC.
Yeah, right. Listen.
Were kind of...
The advertisers were kind of, he's saying.
I don't know that I want to be involved in something this risque. And that's a primary reason why.
And why'd you guys beg me to come back and sue me to come back?
You know what?
They didn't sue you to come back. They sued you for the fucking serious thing. What bullshit. And also, he first of all wouldn't let that audio go any further than a second. And the numbers bear it out, dude. You were losing advertising. And it was post-Super Bowl Janet Jackson thing. I'm sure that had something to do with it, whatever. And also because they were still doing It's Just Wrong.
Well, we had to, yes, and they had to take away from the Bush administration needed another distraction, and Janet Jackson and clamping down and family values became the distraction. So then we were all in a hubbub over this shit while they're doing one of the most illegal shit in the entire world. You know what I'm saying? It was a great deflect. It worked for a long time. I think Howard just saying that they sued him to get him to come back. Is that what I'm hearing?
That's what he just said. Yeah.
Yeah. In what world they would have been happy if you would have rode off into the sunset and just wrote out your contract and not fucking use them and rape them. Like, what are you talking about? They're airwaves.
Yeah. And the other thing is, of course, I remember specifically when the Janet Jackson, it was Justin Timberlake, Janet Jackson, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay, so that was done completely on, that was totally set up for the release of her album, which tanked anyway. It hadn't, and
I thought it was a cheap stunt. Yeah,
it was a very bad, poorly conceived stunt to sell records. Which, so your tit comes out, who's buying your fucking record to listen to it? Unless you have a centerfold in the liner notes, what's it going to matter?
It would make sense if he ripped it and there was some sort of meshing or what looks like an undergarment, but it was a fucking spherical sun around her nipple. It was obvious that was there for what do you just normally put sundials on your breasts?
Exactly.
Fired from NBC under that excuse, and we got hired by Mel Karmazin.
Meanwhile, the same year, there's a paparazzi got a picture of her beaver when she's suntanning.
Oh, for Christ's sake.
You could get that for free. You didn't have to watch anything.
Great.
More beef. Yeah, leave it to Beaver.
That happened is a lot of stations that ran Howard Stern had great ratings, but they couldn't make any money.
Oh, there you go.
And money's the bottom line.
Oh, yeah. No one made any money.
I can tell you
that this is called revisionist history.
No.
This is called a guy saying the same as there were no Jews really killed in the Holocaust.
Right.
Again, the Holocaust. Fuck. Jesus. Thank you, Primo
Jewish?
Loving.
I thought you were Italian.
Yeah, exactly.
So I like how he doesn't say, how about you call the advertisers? Call so-and-so, call Total Wine, call Squatty Potty, call whatever the fuck was advertising at the time, Steven Singer, I don't care, whatever.
Yeah, Nobu.
He's not saying call those people to get the numbers because he knows that if they do, they'd say, yeah, we had to take our advertising away. It wasn't doing anything for us, and we were spending a lot of money for nothing.
Yep.
Dan Mason is a fucking liar. Come in the studio here and I'll punch you in the fucking nose.
Okay.
I love that.
That's one thing corporations love. They love to waste. They're a big fan of waste.
Yeah, big time.
Give me a break, Dan. You lying scumbag. Don't try to rewrite history.
All,
and don't rewrite my legacy. Ever. Even if you are in where was he? Nevada?
Had anything to do with us.
Where is he?
Well, it was an interview with
a lot of newsmakers.
Dan Mason was probably one of those guys that wanted to get a meeting with me, but I told him to fuck off.
That sounds about right.
That's what I did to management. Once I got power, I told them all to fuck off.
I love that. Fuck off.
Once I got power.
Yeah.
That's a very, very interesting statement.
Well, we know that he made himself incommunicado at Sirius to the point where Gary had no FaceTime with him anymore.
Oh, yeah. I mean, this is what he does is once he gets power, he doesn't think he has to answer for shit. And then look what happened. Again, Carrie and I, if he says yes to the show that Fillmore and I want to do, we're talking about the CBS lawsuit. I definitely want to get into the weeds with this one, man, because this is just total bullshit.
Complete bullshit. And if it applies to not just when he was at Sirius, the K-Rock, when Tom Chiusano was on the air many times talking about how difficult he was in negotiations, but not only the negotiations for just in general, the commercials stuff and getting sponsors to meet with him. He had to drag him to these meetings.
I remember.
It was Al's Boring Podcast. I think he did an interview. So this guy did an interview with Tom, and he said that was always problematic, getting him to fucking meet with him, like finesse advertisers and say, yeah, come on our show, whatever, which is part of the game.
And didn't Ross Zapin, I know he was promotions, but didn't he have something to do with this as well?
Not until they got to Sirius.
Right. Okay. So they brought him on for Sirius. So what a glamorous choice. I'm sure everybody can't wait to spend time with him.
Yeah, good old creme de menthe, fucking Zapin. Well, he the thing with him was the only thing he was good for in the K-Rock days was getting tickets for Gary for gigs.
Right, which would then Gary could then, do his Gary thing and try to get sponsors and get advertisers. I got it.
And blow.
Stay away from me. That's the best thing you can do. They said, well, we want to come by and give you champagne, congratulate you on the ratings buck. I go, no, just fuck off. Because you're all the same scumbags that fired me. You're all these same idiots that used to drag me in a room and tell me how to do radio, and you didn't have a clue how to do radio. You don't fuck with somebody who's talking to millions of people.
Oh, my God.
Fuck Dan Mason. What a cunt. Sorry to use that word over and over again.
No, you're not.
No, he's not. And this is, don't you imagine that this is something he does to just about any time he's given some slight of this minimal nature?
It's a minimal nature slight, but it's also truthful, which is why it bothers him. There's somebody who he thinks has some sort of power. He must, or else this slight wouldn't bother him. On the other hand, he does get bothered by weather ladies talking about him in some bumfuck place on some local cable show. So, you know what I'm saying? He brings up these things. He should take the royal family approach, never complain and never explain. But he's not above that. He won't do that. And I just have a hard time wondering, is it because you want to rewrite what really happened and you know what he's saying has some truth to it? Or is it because you're that narcissistic and any little slight bothers you? Or is it a combination of both?
I think it's a combination of both, and truth especially is the one that hurts him the most because, again, it's that false self. You're puncturing that balloon he has in his head, like, oh, God, that shield or that false self, and all of a sudden it's got to be, you're wrong, you're wrong, you're wrong, and it's going to be long, it's going to be arduous, it's going to be full of nonsense, as you said, straw man arguments, and then at the end of the day, he's got to spend that rage somehow, and this is how it's coming out.
I think it's a combination of both, and the truth, you're right, has the biggest effect on him. One, when Wendy Williams told slightly the truth, he went apeshit. Let me think. Another example of one of his rants, when the truth was said about him, Andy Dick freaked out.
Andy Dick. Yep. Oh, well, first of all, okay, we're talking about major rants. So ones where he went off.
Like completely ballistic.
Well, Ellen, like like based on something she was not quoted as. Oh, okay. You mean like regular
right, stuff. But hold on, let me think for a second. I just had one in my head.
It would be like it would be gossip columnists like Russian Malloy when they would report on him doing stuff like the $300,000 desk.
The woman at VH1 who did the hot guy thing.
You got it, Christina. I can't remember her name now, but I did. We did have it, but I can't remember her name. But
ugly guys.
Either way, ugly guys with hot chicks or something like that.
Yes.
And then or the guy that said you ripped off Johnny Carson. It was
the hair guy.
Lloyd, not Lloyd Braun. Lloyd Grove.
No, the
sorry.
guy with the plugs. The guy who had the hair talk show where they asked him if
Spencer Coburn.
Spencer Coburn.
Yeah.
He went ballistic.
Yes.
Because that's true.
Or Dan from Illinois. Dan
from Illinois. That was a good one.
I love that one.
Ladies.
How about Dina? Dina who told him enough of the AGT shit. I love that rant.
That's a good rant. We have to play that. We should do that for a secret stash, but now it's not called that anymore. So we'll do that for a special one.
We'll call it, yeah.
I really am. I don't like the word, but I'm when I get fired up, it seems like the right word to use.
Can I just say something?
It seems to cut right to that cunt's head.
If you talk to Bob Moore.
And I've called him that word now 4 times, and I'll stop.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, call Bobby Moore.
No, he will tell you that he was making money hand over fist in L.A., that he was,
but it's ridiculous. Bobby Moore cried the day I left.
A lot of people cried the day he left.
There are people who used to write me, I'm a salesperson here. You built my house for me. Such an insult that Dan
What
made.
year?
Yeah, no specifications, one person, some vague bullshit. Some guy from
Been
LA.
on the air for decades.
Yeah.
Some guy from LA, you built his house. What year? Specify.
Now, I will tell you, there is a funny story about how Monty Hall, the host of Let's Make a Deal, I mentioned him before. He said that Chuck Woolery, the guy, who's the guy that did Love Connection, not Love Connection, what was it called? The Newlywed Game. Bob Eubanks.
Oh, okay.
Bob Eubanks said he said every year I get a car. Monty Hall said I get a car from Bob Eubanks every year, thanking him for making so much money for Bob Eubanks that he could buy a ranch from Let's Make a Deal, because they were like two shows one right after the other, and he said if it wasn't for Let's Make a Deal, our show would have been nowhere.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I wonder what Howard does for people.
he writes. He's about to write notes when they die.
Yeah.
I don't. In that smug voice, he's an expert. He's an expert. Hasn't done a goddamn thing in his whole career. You never heard of this guy. And he goes, well, he's sorta. I hate sorta. Sorta's like for idiots.
I wonder why Sumner Redstone said that he would never base a business model on one person ever again.
Yeah.
After you left.
Well, then they sued me.
Because they lost so much money from sales.
No, it's because they realized he was losing money precipitously from advertisers, and now they have to rebuild, and they also have to rebuild their advertisers' trust that they could pull this off and still continue making money, because they were hemorrhaging it from advertisers.
That's right. And if they were more diffuse with their programming, they could actually diversify, I suppose is the word, and it'd be less of a hit if various shows are supporting the bottom line as opposed to one show, one tent pole, so to speak.
And the fact that Howard was such a bitch that he wouldn't allow competition on the same airwaves, because look at what he did to Opie and Anthony, everybody.
That's right.
So don't think for 5 seconds Sumner Redstone was saying that because he loved Howard so much. He was probably saying that because he realized we should have allowed other talented people to blossom. So when this money train runs out, as it was with the advertisers, we have this to fall back on. But Howard wouldn't let that happen. No. He ran to management every fucking week about Opie and Anthony.
And in fact, if he'd allowed O&A to be on, let's say, after him or in the afternoons, like same station, or I'm saying like if he'd let it continue and they, of course, didn't get fucked up by that awful prank, that church prank, he probably would have maintained a bit more of his money, a bit more of his ad revenue. And if they were allowed to actually go at each other on the channel, and if he was smart enough to realize that nemesis idea would be more compelling, he could have stayed on the radio longer and still made more money.
Well, he was such a pussy, and they were telling the truth, and he couldn't handle the truth, so he stopped addressing it altogether, and he shut them up with the fucking silencing order. But also, even on the flip side, if he decided to take them under their wing because they were used to be fans and they had a cohesive show where, on cable shows all the time, they used to have, the Facts of Life people go on the fucking this show, or the Cosbys go on different strokes or whatever, or different worlds.
Different world, yeah.
Or whatever. You've all seen crossover, the fucking Growing Pains in Full House. I mean, you could have a cohesive relationship as well, and that could also be popular. It doesn't even have to be contentious, and people would be interested in seeing the characters flow from both shows and kind of have a semblance.
How great would it have been to have had Artie on O&A in 2003, in 2004?
Oh, or Jim Norton on Howard.
Yeah.
Listen to this guy.
So now the anomaly to all of this.
What? The anomaly?
That's the interviewer.
Yeah.
Well, I guess Dan is telling him about some incredible career he's had. Yeah. And the guy says the anomaly is you lost Howard Stern.
What is, where is this again?
Nevada something news.
Great entertainer, big ratings, Howard Stern.
Yeah, I'm just a loser in Dan's mind. Yeah, I'm the real loser, Dan. I'm sure you wouldn't want to trade places with me. And by the way, you look like shit. I looked at the video.
So unhinged. Like I honestly, I'm thinking if you were his daughters and you pissed him off saying something that was honest about him, like you don't even care about my extracurricular activities or something like that, he might have done the same thing to them.
Oh, imagine the rage from the Emily Stern article.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like he tried to brush it off, but there was some fucking sit down afterwards. Not even with her in the room, just him and Beth or him and fucking Dawn or somebody. Laura.
And he's throwing around the trust funds and the money and and in a way, I get it. Like, but you chose to set their life up that way, and that's your choice. What's his face? Shaq doesn't do that for his kids. He says you gotta that's my money, and he says you have to have 2 degrees, and you have to. The girls can stay as long as they want, but the boys are out at 18.
Wow. Interesting. I didn't know that I didn't know that about Shaq, but good on you, dude, if that's the case.
Look like a goddamn horse's ass. You look like a college professor, you fucking asshole. And I can guarantee everybody in the chain hates you. You suckball ass. I remember the name Dan Mason because he was always trying to have meetings with me. He wanted to be there with Joel. You fucking douche. Come have a meeting with me now and explain to me how you know so much about radio. What a cocksucker. Fuck you.
So unhinged.
It was to satellite radio.
Right.
And not only did he go...
Right.
What? He won't let him play.
He will not let him play anything. I mean, early on, we were guilty of also cutting his clips a little too short, and maybe this episode a couple times. But by and large, we know we can play it as long as we want and stuff, and we try to make it a little longer between cuts. But he's not even letting it breathe.
Okay, well, we're doing a show mocking this and him. Yeah. We're not playing a show where we're like, oh, my God, somebody said something about us. We would let it play out and not cut in and then talk about it if we wanted to be real.
College professor. He's going to tell you. Don't you love college professors? None of them actually ever do anything. They just are professors.
What?
See Dan Mason get on the radio.
None of
Maybe
them
they don't
do
understand.
anything.
None of them
do anything. They're just college professors. Huh?
Tenured professors. Uh-huh.
Do you know how long that takes?
Yeah, exactly. Fuck. 14th and 14th grade fucking Boston. Sorry, what was it? Basic studies graduate telling you about professors. Fucking
They're
79.
just professors. Can you imagine grading through all, especially depending on the subject, how impossibly difficult? Well, of course you do know.
Yes, sadly, and it's going to be. This is a grading period too. Yeah, and C.A. Thompson, God bless you.
Do
You're
nothing.
Gonna have
a professor, just you film or you non-10 professor just professoring.
That's right, and making a podcast about an irrelevant DJ.
How I feel about my legacy being changed.
The satellite radio, which people at the time said this contract is insane. They'll never be able to make the money back. But he's had renewal since then. So
yeah, by the way, he ignored the question. How come Howard Stern, they said that he never made the money back? He seems to be thriving. What the answer
he doesn't understand.
Well, the answer would be, Howard Stern is an incredible entertainer. We've never seen the likes of him. He's probably the only entertainer that could have brought a paying audience over to a service and converted it into a huge business. No, that he can't say.
Converted it. Yeah. Okay. Mm-hmm.
Conversion. Yeah. What a stupid mistake. And you don't hear any Sirius XM people crowing about the great decision of that contract.
When we covered that one, the Jennifer, like him doing that promo piece for the new upgraded app, whatever, that was one. I'd argue that's just as sad, almost as sad as the summit video, because it was propping up your grandfather. It was like, what was that? Who was that? I didn't do the Photoshop. When Tony Soprano went to Italy to meet that Don, that aged Don, it was the same type of shit. Wheel him out as a figurehead.
It was very Hall of Presidents. It was really pathetic. And it was sad in a different way because in the summit, it was definitely his choices. And in this one, it was a put on and the insecurity was rife and the audience wasn't feeling it. It was very, very sad.
And it was clear that he was forced to do this. He had no choice in the matter.
And he didn't prepare for it, which was obvious then of the tension between the company and him.
Oh, yes. And they had him by the short and curlies. And I think the other thing is if Mr. I did everything for Sirius and I'm so awesome had real power, he would have never done that in a million years.
No, he wouldn't have. He would not have been forced to do that. I mean, to me, just that action. What did you say about Andy Cohen about go clean your room, or what did you say?
Which one?
You said about that whole corporate meeting. You said Jennifer Vitz. What Andy doesn't have to clean his room.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot. Yeah. That's the analogy.
Yeah.
Go clean your room. Andy doesn't have to clean his room. Yeah, well, pretty much. It's and not even being in presence.
He's making the company money.
Yes, and he's never been able to get around that fact.
No.
He's got to take the opportunity to knock me because he still thinks that if he knocks me, satellite radio will fail. Dude, the cat's out of the bag. It ain't going to fail.
But the problem is he doesn't understand anything.
Dan Mason, don't fucking come here looking for a job because I guarantee you I'll fucking tell them I'm gone.
Oh, wait a minute. Don't come here I don't control jobs here. Don't come here and try to get a job because I'm gone. You'll be in breach of contract if you leave, asshole, number one. Number two, you're flying in the face of everything you've said over the years over I don't control people's jobs and I don't have any kind of, say in who gets hired.
And pay.
Yes, absolutely.
And pay. But you're right. He has always waffled between that authority where sometimes he is this bumbling idiot who has no authority over anything that goes on, and other times he's fucking Michael Corleone.
Yeah. He's not even Fredo most of the time.
Oh, fuck, I wish he was Fredo. Bye, Bo.
Obviously, he's at minimum making the money.
He's taking your shit right on the stage.
Can we just do a whole Robin Oz episode? Oh, wait, that's right. We did do that.
We did. Yeah, I'm working on number 2.
I don't understand the Howard Stern phenomenon.
I don't understand the Howard Stern phenomenon. Well, then shut up.
So
he's replaying it. That's because that's both probably it's the length of what they have there. I would love to see if they clip the whole thing. And guys, I tried to get the original audio. It's not. I couldn't find it. They only went back a certain amount of years.
Yeah, it's a long time ago, and it's pretty irrelevant. The only reason why it was relevant is because of his fucking meltdown.
I love it.
I wonder, how does he not see how bad this is making him look? And the thing that's weird about this is he's taking only certain clips and keeps replaying these insults as if it's going to jazz up the audience the way it used to jazz them up when he had a following, a cult-like following, that he would do similar things to other radio DJs or other people in power that he thought was dissing him. And he would constantly replay just certain clips. He would never seek out the full clip, of course, and he would shadow box, but the audience would buy it. Now, doesn't this seem like a very sad bumper dragging exercise where it's like, dude, you don't have the same pull. You're not gonna invoke anger in your audience anymore.
Yeah, the same tricks don't work anymore because they've seen too much of your bullshit. You've shown your hand. We've seen it. We know what cards you have.
Nobody's gonna get enraged listening to this for you.
Right. And they're not going to feel bad either. Like the one brilliant one, I know we played it before, is the was it fat shaming Russell Crowe that Ben put together?
Yes.
Yeah. And I never said this, but here goes the clip.
It's amazing.
It was a week 10 days apart, perhaps. That was about it.
Say you don't understand it. Move on to the next question, you dummy.
Yeah, seems like satellites do it well with Howard Stern.
I don't understand the phenomenon. Well, here, let me explain it to you. I get on a microphone and I attract millions of people and generate millions and millions of dollars.
Ugh. So
much so that your company, Dan, tried to get me to stay and then sued me when I left because they couldn't handle it.
Okay, so now it was they tried to hire him back. That was the first thing he said. Now it's you left and sued me. So good, the story changed. Glad to see that you've that evolution in 5 minutes. I think a lot of the fans, when it was a subject that we were also behind, like getting upset about taking away our freedom of speech, where it felt like something we can get behind the idea of it, not just, yes, it was about him, but the idea as a whole was it invoked a lot of anger and angst with his fans, not just because his rights may have been taken away, but the concept as a whole was really frustrating and pissed off a lot of Americans. What he started devolving is everything became so centralized and narcissistic. So he's having this tit for tat, and it's about nothing but him. And he's complaining about millions of dollars being exchanged, these vagaries and contract. Nobody cares.
Yeah, I mean, in the early '90s, with Ice-T's problems with the Cop Killer with Cop Killer single, not album, and it wasn't a single; it was just a track off the album. And then the stickers on record labels in the mid '80s, going into the decade, they still exist. I think PMRC stickers and freedom of speech. That was an easy thing to get behind when it was music being censored, album art being put in a paper bag because they didn't think kids should see that kind of shit. To do it years later, it's an easy platitude to get behind because no one wants to be censored.
Right. And I was just watching something about Sinead O'Connor where she put Public Enemy's symbol on their album, like the Public Enemy logo, on the side of her shaved head when she performed for the Grammys, because they refused to announce the hip hop category at the Grammys because they thought it wasn't, it was beneath them to have that televised. Yeah. And so statements like that, things that have to do with shitting on our civil liberties, that's something everybody can get angry about and get behind. And that goodwill that he sort of, galvanized back then has all dissipated by now. So nobody gives a fuck about what Dan thinks of you on some Nevada talk show.
I think, and she's the one thing about her that's amazing. I'm just going to play a little of it. She had a huge love of hip hop, and it's never more obvious than in the song "I'm Stretched on Your Grave," where she sampled Funky Drummer. A lot of people did. Remember the George Michael song "Waiting for the Day"? Yeah. Yes. So the drum beat, Funky Drummer. Yes. This one too. They all used it, but listen to it. Right. So she tried to, she definitely wanted to get aligned with Public Enemy or hip hop in general because she felt she was just the same. Like she was embattled.
Well, she was a protest singer that became a pop star.
Oh yeah, like the thing about the ripping up a picture of the Pope. Now the only problem I had with that at the time, because I'm not a Catholic, I didn't give a fuck, was that religion for some people is something I don't criticize people's religion. She was criticizing the organization, and then people took it to mean she's shitting on Catholicism. No, she's shitting on the institution of the Catholic Church.
I thought it was an impulsive act. The message was definitely noble, but the way it was done was shock and awe, where there was no explanation. Yes. And so you're just left with reaction. Which dominated. Yeah, unfortunately, and she explained it later at length. Her upbringing and the way the Catholic Church operated in Ireland and the abuse and stuff. So the context was completely lost, and it got spun into nothingness, and unfortunately, kind of cost her career, her main bit of fame when she had such a short window. But she was a brilliant singer. I always thought Madonna was such a cunt, sorry to reuse that word, for shitting on her for doing that, doing a parody of it and mocking it, full well knowing what she was talking about and pretending that she doesn't know and that Madonna's the rebel. In hindsight, we see this very differently, Big time. Oh, yeah.
What's to understand? What don't you understand about that? That's radio. Some people get on a microphone and suck. And other people get on a microphone and kick fucking ass. I happen to be in the second category. What's to understand? Blah, blah, blah. Fucking idiot. No. Oh, that's right. You didn't make any money off of my show. Oh, is that right, Dan? You knucklehead. He had trouble. Well, maybe you need to be Mel Karmazin, and then you can figure out how to make money with it, you dummy, because you don't. Yeah, he wasn't talking about CEOs making money. He was talking about advertisers not wanting to jump on your show, shithead.
And even then, he didn't say he didn't make any money. They said that at the time he left, the advertisers weren't making money. And that's not even to say that the advertisers never made money, that his whole career was completely worthless to advertisers. Nobody said that. But now, again, the straw man argument and reframing the argument and shifting the Overton window into Howard's delusions is where we're at.
He's definitely got the problem with Howard. One of the myriad of problems is he's got this image of himself as the high school years being so like him being at K-Rock and making all this kind of money. He's stuck in that mindset of I was a massive success, but can't understand that he's no longer that person. Madonna's in the same boat. J-Lo's in the same boat. The similarities between those three is astounding in terms of narcissism studies.
You know, that's a very, very, very solid point. I think if we were to do an analytical episode on just those three alone, it would be fascinating because they do demonstrate these desperate similar takes. Now, it plays differently to audiences, but if you were to really just look at it in all of them side by side, it is so eerily similar.
Yeah, in different ways, but in not the ways that are important. I mean, it's just a matter of someone going in their head, I'm still 35-year-old J-Lo. I'm still 30-year-old Madonna, you know, at the MTV Awards, you know, kissing Britney. Sorry, not kissing Britney. Earlier than that. And we're going, let's say, Like a Prayer, doing Justify My Love on stage. I'm still Howard at the MTV Awards doing Fart Man. They can't get past that height of glory in their heads, and it's stuck in their heads like some kind of repeat track on, you know, when you play a track constantly again and again in their head.
It's like a ghost that died and keeps revisiting the site of his death, and it just keeps playing on a loop or something. It's bizarre. And Madonna, especially, like her magazine articles where she is in Vogue and she's wearing these, you know, Catholic-like garbs and holding aborted babies and wearing all the religious iconography at like the Last Supper. It's been done. Why are you retreading ground? This isn't groundbreaking. This statement is boring. We just, same with Jennifer Lopez. These tours, these movies, this my love of my life, making these speeches, it's pathetic.
It is.
Work hard. Dan Mason was like, after Joel, all the Mel Karmas and wannabes. Dan Mason. I don't understand the Howard Stern phenomenon. What's to understand?
Oh, and at this point, guys, in the chronology, he's still okay with Mel Karmazin, even though we find out in some of the articles subsequent to the contract renewals that Mel was the one who argued against giving Howard such a big contract to start with.
It was a smart. Well, Mel wannabes. I don't think anybody in his life acted or wanted to be Mel Karmazin.
No, I mean, fuck that's just nonsense.
I get on the microphone and I attract millions upon millions of listeners. So much so that 1 out of every 4 drivers in the tri-state area are listening to me. What's so fucking difficult to understand?
I'm completely.
This when he's repeating himself like this and he's getting on this, it reminds me of the Wendy Williams rant when he kept saying the same things over and over about himself, like propping himself up and dragging her. I mean, poorly, but he kept repeating the same overtures about himself, about how great he is, how you're not the queen of media, I'm the king of all media. Kept repeating the same things. We're like, and then he'd stop, and we think, okay, we're moving on, and he just cyclical carousel, just going round and round.
I'm telling you, it's like at Madonna's house, the door opens, and immediately the only thing you hear is the Immaculate Collection on replay.
Yes.
On rewind.
Or versions of it. Or, look, I'm making out with this rapper lesbian to this in a fucking EDM version. Great.
Right, exactly. And the other thing is, and real quickly, guys, I imagine he does this when he's alone in his house as well. He yells out loud to nobody.
Well, we have heard bits and pieces over time that he does talk to himself, that Beth hears that.
Oh, yep.
Yeah.
Vocal fry. That's for chicks, dude. I don't know. That's the intellectual.
So sad. So sad.
Whenever you hear a guy going, it means he's a dummy.
It means he's full of shit.
Right. I don't know. His wheels are turning. How can I spin it so that Dan? It's generally acknowledged that I'm a success in the industry. You don't have to be the one guy running around saying that I was unsuccessful.
He didn't say that.
That's not what he said. And again, Overton window. Let's keep on pushing it. Push. Robin, without a hint of irony, says, that means you're full of shit. Well, good. I guess that means you admit you're full of shit too, Robin, because you are the queen of the
He sounds
no kidding.
Stupid. I am the most successful broadcaster in the history of the world.
Oh my God.
Oh, like, see, it gets worse and worse unless he needs someone in there to go, okay, enough of this shit. Enough.
This is like, in masses, you have to somewhat have this repetitive thing when every time you glory be to love, you say certain things when you're in mass, like the name of the Father, the Son, and Holy Spirit. You repeat that every time. Right. This reminds me of that. It's like this, you're in some sort of fucking math right now in your head where it's I'm the best, I'm the most successful. We have to hit these punctuations in this conversation every so often. And it has to do with millions of listeners. I'm the best, I'm the most successful, made a lot of money. And we have to keep throughout this entire hymnal hit these notes.
Yeah, well, it's a demented gospel chorus. I mean, yeah,
it is.
I was the best in radio. Hallelujah.
Yes.
Yeah,
we're in a fucked up narcissistic gospel chorus. You're right.
Oh, God, I need to play some gospel music.
How can you go around telling people I'm unsuccessful and I was a failure?
Hold on. Okay, go ahead.
Howard Christ, superstar. Who are you? What do you think you are? I'm fucking rich. I'm fucking
Hold on. Let's see if
successful.
I can. Okay, let me see if I got this one.
Millions of listeners. Superstar.
Well, like Hitler, maybe if there's enough Holocaust deniers out there, then we'll believe that there really wasn't one. And you could be the leader of that movement.
Very popular. There's a reason he's not on commercial radio anymore. The advertisers wouldn't go along with it.
Is that why your company, even during my last negotiation, offered me to come back on terrestrial radio? Because no advertisers will advertise on me?
But somebody sat around in a corporate office and said, this is our official stance.
Yeah. I had to try to see if I could put a little Mahalia Jackson underneath it just to get a little
so good.
Yeah, I mean, Jesus, guys, this is just awful. And you know what? It makes more sense more than ever, like years later, why Fred, first of all, is ordered not to speak. At this point and years later, he's figured out just let him be his delusional self. He's getting worse and worse. I'm just going to collect the fucking paycheck, close my ears, and move forward.
This is the wade in the bullshit water. Wade in the bullshit.
Big time.
Howard.
Yeah, but that's the old stance from 8 years ago. Like, I think he can let go of it now. I don't understand this whole Beatles phenomenon. I really don't. I mean, they play some guitars and they have long hair. You sound like an idiot.
Yes.
Hey, JD, where's the tape of that guy who didn't get the Beatles? This is what Dan Mason is. Pull that tape up. You know what I'm talking about.
I'm sorry. Did Dan Mason say, did I miss anything about the Beatles, or is he just pulling this out of his ass?
He's pulling this out of his ass. He's the Beatles.
Okay, I thought I wasn't listening. I thought I missed something. A Beatles reference? None?
No.
Okay.
He did say no from the original audio. No, there was no Beatles bullshit. He's decided.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm riffing. Yeah, I covered it well with the.
This is the
music.
riff.
Yeah, this is the riff. He's George, Paul, John, and Ringo.
Great. Okay.
Yeah.
Content. Young males in particular love.
Look at him. He's like a college professor. Let's open up
again with this college professor shit.
He's an anti-Semitic college professor who's a Holocaust denier and hates the Beatles. Got it.
Right. Got it.
The book on Howard. Well, it says here, young males in particular really enjoy him.
We really need that bell that Raven has. Where ding, same talking points over again. Every time he goes that lap. It's like, this is like
I'm
an
going to
F1.
order it on Amazon. I'll do that. I love those bells.
Get one from
like
Tina.
Order
it's
up.
Cheaper. Yeah.
Horse it up. Here we go.
Yeah, young males do. So do 20.
But somehow with an audience, we couldn't figure out how to sell advertising.
And somehow I was number. Yeah, so who's the failure? You or me? Yeah, and it says I was number 1, 25 to 54, 18 to 49. I mean, give me a fucking break.
This is the same company that then hired Opie and Anthony and the Grease Man, trying to recreate the whole thing in later day parts. And, all of those idiots got into trouble. So what's the problem here?
You couldn't beat the Grease Man. You couldn't beat the Grease Man. And Opie and Anthony, anyway. Oh, fuck.
Well, they hired them, and if you would have worked out stuff with them, then they could have diversified. And like Sumner Redstone said, we should have never hitched our wagon to one person.
Yeah, because it would just create a vacuum at the end of it, and then all of a sudden you got to start from scratch, and it gives other people a chance to
So
make
things
headway.
were fucking up our company essentially.
Yep.
But advertisers were kind of, I don't know that I want to be involved in something this risque. And that's a primary reason why that happened, is a lot of stations that ran Howard Stern had great ratings, but they couldn't make any money.
Yeah.
And money's the bottom line.
Yeah.
Always the best.
Yeah, well.
And it actually is true. In the Colford book, we're going to get into it eventually. They had to pay so much for the station fee, like the license to play, the syndication rights, that they bankrupted themselves. Like they couldn't really afford it because the advertisers wouldn't sign up.
Well, Tucker Carlson went through something similar at Fox, but his ratings were the highest at Fox, so he just didn't have advertisers. They pulled out of his show. Fox knew that, so they had a choice to make. And fortunately for Tucker, there was still some there, but it was mainly because he was the ratings drive for Fox, and it fucking took off a cliff when he left. So
yeah.
What a loser.
They kept you for 20 years because you made no money.
What a loser I am, Dan, and what a winner you are, you dumb fuck. Oh, man. I mean, really? Are you for real? You sound like a moron.
The interviewer should say, man, the guy you employed him for 20 years.
You're lucky Sumner Redstone is completely out of it.
The weirdest part about this is we're making these arguments, but this isn't even the real person.
No, it is. That's why I love that. That's why I'm letting it play.
So
I'm going to let it play
great.
longer until he gets to the point where he eventually susses it out.
Or else he'd fire your ass. Loser. I'm sure they all hate him there, too. I'm sure like Kevin Weatherly, who happens to be a radio genius, but has to answer to Dan Mason's probably sitting there rolling his fucking eyes in his head. What?
I'm looking something up, but I'm just slowing you down for a minute.
Yeah.
Jason was just telling me, and I didn't see any of this before. I just saw this guy. There's a lot of Dan Masons in radio.
Yeah.
And there is a Dan Mason in Nevada. I don't know.
This isn't the CBS Dan Mason.
I don't know.
Well, then why'd you guys send me?
I didn't send it to you. I didn't even see it till this morning.
Well, someone told me it's Dan Mason from CBS.
Please let me just look it up. Give me 2 seconds. I'm sorry.
Oh, my goodness.
Dan, if it's not you, I apologize.
Take back.
Oh, my God. The level of incompetence is stunning.
Yeah, it's off the charts.
Wouldn't you say to him before you let me double check before? I mean, Dan Mason is a common name.
Right. But do you even think that they went to the point of looking online to look up Dan Mason on Wikipedia and then didn't find that there were other ones and verify who this person was?
Not only that, but like we said, wouldn't you see a clip like this? Oh, his name's Dan Mason. He's in Nevada doing some cable show.
Right.
Why would you think it would be a CBS executive who's probably located in New York City or LA?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, what is he doing in Nevada?
Right.
That didn't even cross your mind?
No, not at all.
Not a cunt, but Dan Mason in Nevada's a cunt.
Oh, no, I hope. That's too much.
Well, who cares which Dan Mason it was? Whatever one it was, fuck him.
Well, this Dan Mason we've just made famous.
Right.
Because this Dan Mason nobody knows.
I wish my staff would get the shit straight.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy. I wish you maybe if you paid them more, they'd be competent.
Yeah, no kidding.
Great.
Oh, my God. Now, how are we going to find out which Dan?
Honestly, I really blame Gary for this one.
If he greenlights it, he's the one that puts it forward and says, "You get this." Yeah, I would. But the first thing I would have done was see who the fuck is this. Know exactly who it is. He let it go, and he's just an incompetent, leading incompetence.
It's fine if JD makes that assumption. I mean, that's stupid. But if he didn't research it and you're the second line of defense for this getting on the air, you better know what the fuck this is.
Oh, yeah. But I mean, and the boss is an idiot. So you have to trust that he doesn't know the fucking difference. So you have to make someone in there has to have a teaspoon of brains to know that this is the person you're talking about. At the very least, just say this is a guy from Nevada, like some like cable show. If Howard has a brain, he'll go, well, it's not the Dan Mason I know. So I'll just specify that's who it is immediately and go after him. That's different.
Oh, this is just rich. I love
it. I love it.
Mason, it is.
Hold on, Gary will find him. Which one is it?
Not that one.
Oh, you mean the one in CBS is a good guy?
Yeah.
I hate KFC. I hate KFC. Fuck that Colonel Sanders. Oh, it's a different Colonel Sanders. Oh, listen, man, I love the 11 herbs and spices. Fuck, I forgot what I said. You know.
Think about everything he said about Dan Mason for the last
15 minutes. Literally.
Which shows you what a disingenuous fuck he is about his anger, too.
Yeah.
Which means he doesn't even know the person enough. He called him a loser's loser.
Yeah.
You don't even know who he is.
Right.
Oh. Well, Dan, I like you. Just a case of mistaken identity.
That guy's a Dan Mason. He's a program director at a station called KKOH in Nevada.
Oh, shit. Well,
were we ever on that station?
No.
I don't believe so, no.
I know we were on in Vegas, and we were number one.
Then why is he talking about us at all?
But when you guys send me something, you got to tell me, they got to make sure to get that right. But, all right. Well, anyway, apologies to Dan Mason at CBS. But no apology to Dan Mason, whoever this guy is.
KKOH. He's a guy who's
What's the difference?
As Mad.
What's the difference? What's the difference? The difference is this is some no fuck in Nevada. And the difference is the other guy. Good luck getting a show greenlit if you ever want one on CBS.
Unbelievable. No.
Dog Mason.
Oh, Mad Dog Mason doesn't understand me. Well, that's understandable.
Now it's all very understandable.
Yeah, I got to be honest, I was having trouble wondering why Dan Mason, the other one, would say that about us.
Yeah, I know, because I thought he wanted me there.
Well, then why would you allow him to go on this expletive rant for 20 minutes? Gary, if you had the same instinct as you and I did right from the get-go, why would a CBS executive be on some no-fuck radio station saying this about a talent?
Yeah.
God.
Dick.
So dumb.
I don't know.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, exactly. We'll play a little more.
They did.
Yeah. Well, but then when I saw that, I went berserk. I went, why would he say that? Well, it turns out he wouldn't.
You know, this Mad Dog Mason, he somehow or other, he hoped he would be you one day, and he never has been.
Right.
Or we competed with him.
But
I wouldn't.
Oh, man. Jesus.
They don't even know if they're on in that sec. They just said, were we on in that? I don't know. I know we were on in Vegas. So now these people are just so desperate that they want to be Howard. That's where we're at. You can't just fucking take the L, can you?
Yep. Nope, no way.
Howard, that sounded pretty fucking dumb.
Didn't even give him any attention.
Thanks, Alex.
Until the guy sent me a thing that said Dan Mason from CBS is bad-mouthing you.
But it's confusing because why would this Dan Mason know how our money went, how our advertising went?
He doesn't know anything.
He doesn't understand because...
Yep.
How did he know that, Gary? That's interesting. Maybe because he does know something. Thanks for that little tidbit. And Howard's covering up. Oh, he doesn't know. He doesn't know anything. Right. That was a very low. He doesn't know anything. Gary knows. He knows.
Oh yeah.
He does. Has nothing to do with it.
Somebody asked him about Howard Stern, and he's jealous, and he just went ahead.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's jealous.
Well, anyway, Dan Mason of CBS.
Sorry.
In fact, edit that out of the future broadcast because I sound like an idiot. And God forbid
Oh, my goodness.
My God.
Anyway. Sorry, Dan. But what's the difference?
That guy gets an apology, but everybody else he fuck with never gets an actual apology, right?
Watch, he doesn't get one. Here we go.
No.
Press
play.
Because
what's the difference?
Yeah, it's a non-apology.
Right. It's which Dan it is.
Well, again, this Dan nobody knows and nobody ever heard of, and nobody cares what he says.
Yeah, and in my defense,
it has nothing to do with your legacy at all.
In my defense, I was told that it was Dan Mason from CBS, who I don't really even remember.
Oh.
He just spent 15 minutes talking about everything about him, and he didn't remember. What is it?
Don't remember him. You were talking about the corporate layers in your legacy, what you had to deal with personally with Dan Mason and meetings and what he did and how he wanted to fucking get you back and all these interactions. What are you talking about?
Right. Fucking idiot.
But probably is a nice guy.
I'm like David Letterman talking about Brad Gray.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Although I bet you Dan Mason and CBS thought that privately.
Oh.
Well, Dan Mason of CBS, in case you're thinking of thinking like that.
This is what'll happen.
This is what'll happen if you think like that.
Thanks. We now have the blueprint for every single slight directed at you.
Such a fucking empty-headed idiot. I think, too, a great example of why CEOs don't do shit like that is Disney. Disney had that CEO who decided to start going political and making statements on behalf of the company. Shut your fucking mouth. You're not in politics. You sell films with princesses and fucking Tinkerbell. Shut up. What are you doing? You don't say anything.
Yeah, I'm just going to play the last small clips. Like they're not even a minute long of the end of the rant, because the full rant is, again, a little bit longer. But these are some last little bits.
I got to tell you, what was I, unfortunately, my vacation was ruined because I thought Dan Mason from CBS had badmouthed me. Now I've learned that it isn't Dan Mason.
Oh, no. When did you get that information? Early or late in the vacation?
Early in the vacation. So I've been stewing the whole vacation waiting to get back on the air. I was almost going to tweet about it.
So this isn't an on-the-fly decision that just came across his computer screen like other clips. He'd been stewing about this vacation. You have Google. Why wouldn't you Google this episode and just put in?
I'm certain he did.
Oh my God.
I'm certain he did, and that was the first Dan Mason that came up, and that'll do.
But there's. That makes no sense. You would Google Dan Mason and say, oh, he's been it would give you a wiki biography or something about the guy, or say how long he's been working at this radio station. If you work for KH, whatever fuck, then it would say that how many years. What do you think? Dan Mason of CBS running the company is on the fly like fucking Clark Kent, also working as a radio DJ in Nevada for however many years?
Right, exactly.
Waste my time with Twitter. But I was so pissed off, Yeah. But, it turns out, as we said, Dan Mason from CBS is not. There's evidently more than one Dan Mason in radio. It's evidently a generic name.
And the one who seems to be upset with you is very minor.
Right.
Howard.
What?
I have made contact with a person who is calling the Dan Mason right now.
Oh, good, because I'll apologize to
And by the
him.
way, they are not. That guy is not
There's
related
no relation?
to them anyway.
No relation.
I'm really upset with John Smith, what he did to Pocahontas. Fuck that John Smith. Oh, I'm sorry. It's from Cleveland?
Yeah.
Okay. I would like to apologize to Dan Mason from CBS personally, if I may.
Gary!
All right, part 3.
Anyway, with any luck, I'll get Dan Mason on the phone and apologize to him. I mean, not that I really owe him an apology.
Yes, you do.
What? Are you fucking kidding me? I'm sorry. I didn't mean to just first like that. I didn't mean.
Yeah.
Well, hey, what am I supposed to say, bud?
What's that? You thought it was the wrong Howard Stern?
That was a reaction. Normally, like, I kind of think about what I'm going to say, but that just came right out.
Right, yeah.
I thought it was Dan Mason from CBS. How do
Well,
I know
that
what
is
he
the
looks like?
apology. Sorry that your name is like someone else's who was badmouthing.
He should change his name. One from me. Dan Mason. He probably doesn't like me anyway.
Then he won't get on the phone.
Oh.
Why would he now?
Yeah, no kidding. Dead air. Fucking dead air.
I'm debating.
Okay,
You're
so the last bit.
debating.
This is the last bit, guys. 90 seconds.
I just spoke to Dan Mason.
What is it?
He didn't want to come on the air, but I explained the whole thing to him.
Right.
He said, how bad was it? I said, it was pretty bad. And he said, listen, I totally accept Howard's apology. He goes, he retracted it. He's extracting it. I
know,
get
but
it.
I would have liked to have said it to him.
And I said that. He goes, I really don't want to come on the air. But if you want to call him later, I'll
call him later.
Gary!
So are we taking it out of the show?
I think we should. Yeah, because I don't want to badmouth Dan Mason from CBS.
No, you're right. We should take it out.
Yeah.
Because not everybody's going to hear it and understand how it resolves itself.
They might hear only part of it.
Yeah, right. And the guy's a nice guy, evidently.
And in no way related to the other Dan Mason or anything.
Doesn't even know him.
No.
Oh, shut up.
Did you ask Dan Mason of CBS, has he ever thought anything bad of me? So I could, because it was a pretty good rant.
I was well into apology mode, so I did not get into that.
Ah, shit. See, if he didn't like me, I'd leave it in. And most people in radio do not like me.
Oh, my God. What a narcissist.
Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Gary, call him back and ask him if he's ever hated me.
Gary.
I'm just kidding. Don't really do that. Sometimes Gary takes me.
Yeah,
literally.
it goes.
Yeah, he would.
It doesn't matter what his personal feelings are about you, you fuck. He kept them inside and didn't air them out like a professional. You're the dolt that just did what you did. So it doesn't matter what he thinks of you on the inside. He doesn't publicly acknowledge any of those feelings, even if he had them. You should apologize regardless. Is he such an asshole?
Well, that's the other thing. He just doesn't have. He's jelly beaner. You know, he's going to be an annoying fuck no matter what the circumstance, and a little whiny. I mean, you still hear the 5-year-old in him whining when he's doing this kind of rant. He says it was a great rant. It was actually one of the worst.
It was so stupid. I think that it says a lot about a person's character when they can make a culpa, realize they're wrong, and humbly come to an apology and be introspective. This shows what lack of character you truly have and intelligence.
Oh, yeah.
Goes right to the phone.
Yeah, but you said to call him.
I got him a line too.
I got him a line too. He said he done hate you.
You know, I'm only there, but.
All right.
What's going on?
Nothing. Just go back.
I did something right? I'm getting made fun of?
Yeah. You have to be made fun of.
You didn't do something right in the end, Bowie. So anyway, that's it for that one, guys. We hope you've enjoyed this slice of fucking rant lane. And anytime you run into a Dan Mason, just think of the audio.
I just want to. Oh, look there's another Fillmore out there.
Yeah, exactly.
Big rant.
There's a couple of them. Pearl Jam plays at the Fillmore. Anyway, guys, we hope you've enjoyed it. Take care. Remember to subscribe to Patreon if you're not already on the channel. If this makes it to Sunday, which we'll find out if it does or not. And just like, subscribe, comment section, add some stuff there. I'm on Twitter as well. Sam's on Insta, I think. What's your Insta handle?
That's a good question. Sammy T. Sammy. Hold on.
There we go.
Let me check. Wait, let's do the cheer. The cheers.
Oh.
It's quite frankly Sammy T.
There you go. Hey, take care, guys. Have a good one.
Bye.
You'll recognize
Katie Lang?
You'll recognize this Canadian.
Go ahead and sing a little.
Dreaming. I must be dreaming.
Oh,
you know who that is?
Is that Anne-Marie?
When I look into your eyes.
Oh, you have vibrato and everything.
He's very talented.
It's amazing.
Well, I am happy.
Heartbreak.
Oh, my God.
It must be heartbreak for you and I.
I can't even see your face. That's what's
when
making this really
get
He's very serious.